Right, that took a little while. There we have it. It's cleaned up. It took about 20 thou off the bottom part there. There we are. We've got a recut thread into our port. For the insert, I've got a piece of 55mm OD by 5mm wall thickness, so that's 45mm ID aluminium there. This is kind of the most economical way of doing this, especially for this experimental one. I've got somewhere, like I showed earlier, also a piece of aluminium bronze there of the same sort of similar sort of size, bit thicker wall, that I can do posh ones out of, if you like, when I get confident that this is going to work. So initially I need 54mm OD, so I'm just going to whip a bit off the outside of this and face it up a bit, and then we'll put the external thread on, and then I'll work on the internal thread. With that skimmed down to the size we want, I've set up an indexable tip tool there for threading, 60° insert on that one. I'm not 100% sure what that tap is. It wasn't marked when I got it, so I'm going for 60. We'll see what that fits like. The compound's set over to sort of half the included angle, so that's set over to 30°, as I usually do. Speed is set at what we're on, that's over there, 130. Both my handles are that way at the top there, so I'm on 130, plus I've got the variable speed as well. And our thread cutting gearbox is set on English on that lever, and we're on that line, cut that column there, 16 TPI, which going along there, D and A. There's our other box there set to D and A. So I'll do the usual with the threading dial. And we'll get a thread put on this. I'm going to use 2 and 4 for my marks. There we are on 4. back into 0. There. More cut on, and just before we go any further, I'll just verify my verify I'm on 60 degrees, 16 TPI rather. Verify that with the tap, make sure, and there we are. If you can see that, try and put it that way around, it's sitting nicely in our scratch lines there. Right, away we go. As soon as we're cutting slowly, we'll put a bit of lubricant on it as well. Okay, let's have a quick check of where we are. Looks nice. Right, I just realised something. I haven't got the test nut for this, so I'm just going to break off. I think I'll continue tomorrow actually, and I really need to make a test nut. I thought I got one. No, definitely no test nut. What I'll do, rather than take this out and try it and lose the position, I'll take a chance on this one. It measured okay on the outside. I'll put the internal thread in, and then we'll take it out and try it in the head. But for the next one, I'll make a test nut. Must do that. So I'll set up for boring and internal threading on this one now. I've set up for turning the internal diameter, 47.4 we're aiming for on this one. I'm just wondering at this stage if I've got a bar to thread that deep. If I just get a start on this thread on the inside, I've actually got the tap there for the Norton exhaust port thread. So and that's inch and 15/16 14 unified. There's that one. So I'll try and get a start on it and then carry on with the tap. We'll see how we go. I just thought I'd have a little trial and see how this tap went in. I'm set up there with a spring centre guiding the rear, and I'll just keep putting a little bit of pressure on like that, and I've been working that in gradually, just with an adjustable spanner like that. And we seem to be working. It's going to take a bit of effort doing it this way at full depth. Really, you want some series taps for this this sort of application, where there's on series taps they differ from the normal taper, intermediate and plug taps in that they've got progressively deeper threads. So they start off with a flat top thread and then get sort of a little bit more peak, and then the final finishing tap, they've got rings around them usually, but these are dear enough as they are, just one single tap for this sort of size new. So for the cost of the job, ultimately we'll just stick with this for now. I'll say on the others, what I'll probably do once I've established that I'll make a ring gauge or a nut to check the thread on that. I'll internally thread them to a degree and just take the pressure off trying to tap, because this is not easy by any stretch of the imagination at this size. And one of my fears was that I wouldn't have enough wall thickness. I probably explained it at the beginning, I can't remember now, that I had enough wall thickness to get this in without breaking through the outer thread, and we seem to be okay. It's looking all right. So at the moment I'm just going to carry on doing this, and I'll come back when we've progressed a bit. What I'm aiming to do is get this to sort of the full length of its thread, then I can part a section off. I want a bit about 20mm long, just over 20mm long, to screw in. So we'll part a bit off, and then we can check that in there, then continue to thread the rest of it. Do a lot harder work in that aluminium bronze, I know that. Definitely have to put a pre-thread in there, I think. I'll get to trying that. Right, that's a fair way in. There's more than sufficient for one thread in there, so whew, I'll leave that at that for now. Take that out of the way. We'll take this out. Check our exhaust ring in there. Lovely. Yep, happy with that. Okay, I'll part a section of this off now, and we'll try it in the head. So I just took the first couple of threads off there. I need to deburr this carefully. Obviously it's quite thin walled, and all I'm going to do for length is just measure, set it like that with the length of that, so it's 20mm. So if I give it a few mil extra for prosperity's sake, then I can mill it off afterwards. So we're going 23mm, something like that. Near enough. Bit over 3/4 of an inch. 15/16, no, that's 24. Somewhere there, that'll do us. I'll get two out of this then. Okay, I just need to deburr that a little bit, and then we'll set about screwing it in. It's actually worked out a thicker wall thickness than I anticipated, to be honest. I expected it to fall apart into little rings, but no, we're okay so far. As I said a little moment ago on film, which was actually a day or so ago in reality, I've just made a test ring using the tap there, and get started on this fine thread. So there we go. That's the right thread for the tap we've used for the oversize in the head. And just get some more oil. Keeping it well lubricated because I don't want it sticking. I've got the lock ring, the thread ring there on that, and if we start that off carefully, there we go. I know it fits because I tried it a moment ago just to be sure before I filmed it. there we have it, and it's a nice fit, no slop in it or anything, so that should screw in the head very nicely. Now what we have got to be careful of with this is it's aluminium screwing into aluminium, and that can gall horrendously. Again, I know because I've done it in the past. So I'm going to clean these things up, these bits up, get some brake cleaner and the like around them and in the head as well, and I'm going to severely douse in green retainer, Loctite 680, 620, whatever you use, which one I'll have a look, so that it acts sort of as a lubricant, if you like, as it's going in. We'll do it with the activator and all that again. So back in a little while when we're cleaned up, and we'll have an attempt, fingers crossed, at screwing this insert in. Right, thoroughly cleaned off on both parts. Spanner at the ready, insert tool at the ready. Again, as previously, a little bit of activator. And because we're on aluminium to aluminium, and although it's anaerobic to a degree, it also relies on some ionised thing, copper ions or something, I think I read a while ago, to cure the Loctite. To give that a moment to evaporate. Well, I'm just finishing my tea off. And Loctite 680 retaining compound. Quite thick Loctite 680. There we go. And I'm going to be, I've got a set bit there. I'm going to be more than generous with this, of course, as I say, I want it to act as a lubricant as well. You know what, from the other day when I touched the bottle on the activator, I think that's a good thing to do actually, because it's gone very jelly, although it is quite cold at the moment. And you're not supposed to put it on your finger, but I am. So there. I want plenty round it, especially on the first few threads, to actually be taken down with the insert. And also plenty on the insert itself. You only normally need a bit of a dab of this, but we don't want this coming out again. Okay, let's start it. Here we go. This is where it all goes horribly wrong. screwed in nicely so far with just my fingers. I'm keeping a bit of pressure on the lock ring as well. Now what I probably could have done with doing is putting some sort of thread, some sort of flats on that lock ring. Quite big enough, I think. To be honest, we're down. Just remember, I did leave quite a bit of spare stuff on there. There's a little bit more to go yet. I think we're as far in as we're going to go. Yeah, I'm not going to get there any further. It's left more of a gap at the back that I was hoping for, but as I say, this is the first sort of experimental one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that now, let that set overnight. And we'll come back to it. I think on reflection, what I might have been better risking was oiling it and checking its fit with some oil or grease or something first before I went to Loctite, make sure it went right the way down. But it should have done, he says, unless the Loctite grabbed at that point. Yeah, it's left more of a gap than I'd have liked that. I'll get the camera there. You can see that. I wanted that really to screw right in. Okay, so fair enough. We'll have another go on the other one. Now, I've got some discs here, some stainless discs that I was going to use if I needed to make up that bit I'd machined away. I mean, obviously they're going to have a hole cut in them, but they take up sort of what are they, 16 gauge, something like that thickness. I could make sort of a backing washer. Right, I'll come back to that in the morning or tomorrow evening probably, and we'll mill it off because we ain't going to be getting it out in a hurry. I know that for sure. And we'll see what it looks like. once it's milled off. There's our rosette ring, exhaust ring, screws in nicely. So we're sort of 90% there, 90%. I'm using the automatic boring head to take this excess off. It's a little bit easier than trying to do it with the manual one. What this does is automatically feed across as you hold this handle as it's turning and set that rate. So I'll do a bit now. You can set up a rigid stop for them, but if anything goes wrong with this, you can pull this pin out very quickly. But at the moment that's on its lowest feed, setting 2. And now it's starting to now cut as it moves outward. Wind the cutter back in. I'll use the table a little bit. Just check that arc is not going to suddenly dig in anywhere. Just back a smidge more. As you see, this pin, put that up there, this pin just pulls out. So if you get into a mess, you can just remove it like that. And the advantage with this mill is I can dial in the speed under a nice control. Hopefully we're somewhere near the last pass. Nice rhythmical tick as it kind of ratchets its way across. That's it, we've got it. Let that run out to the end there. That's it, we're off the edge of all the fins. Okay. down, pop that cutter out of the way. That's it. Few bits in the bottom there. There's barely a gap. I can get my fingernail under there at the bottom anyway, so that won't need any shimming of any sort in there. Says getting it stuck. That's it. Okay, there's our first experimental version done in aluminium. So I would have liked it gone further to the bottom, definitely, but that's a nice solid insert. I think that's going to go very far. I'm going to try it with a different thread locking compound on the next one, and probably not even use the activator. Whether it locked up part way down, possibly, I'm not sure, or whether I needed a bit more relief on the back of the threads, but we'll have another go on the next one. I'll do this side as well, even though it's not that bad. I'm only playing about with this head, as I've said before.